I mean, I thought I was used to the word no. My parents told me all the time, but I came from a very large family, so they had to use the word no in order to keep 5 kids in line. But I think maybe that is what's happening, because there is types of parenting where parents don't say no, and people are not accustomed to hearing the word no anymore, that when you actually hear the word no, people don't know how to handle rejection.
I like when people say no, because it gives me a fire and a fight in me. And I'm like, wow, you didn't like that? Well, I'm going to show you what I can do.
Every once in a while, they punch you in the gut. And that's when I just get furious. And then I'm like, oh yeah? They're going to tell me no? They don't know who they're messing with. And then I just work harder and focus. And I'm like, I'll show them. And like that, for me, when they punch, that like, I'll show them attitude has always birthed like this brand new era of then my next level of geniusness, which guys, there's so many. It's like really exciting.
Well, sometimes rejection is just like, yeah, I didn't think I was going to get in. Yeah, all right, whatever, you know. And sometimes it's like, what? How? Come on. It's like it was perfect. You know, it was not perfect, but it was like, it just fitted. I mean, it could have been something that I did before that finally found its story, right? Or it could have been something that I was inspired by the story. And it's like, how could it not fit if I was inspired by the very words that they wrote, right? I guess I take it with a grain of salt. I mean, I do get upset sometimes in the moment, especially if it's something that I'm really excited about. And for me, it's like, I don't submit to a lot of things. Financially, it doesn't make sense for me. And also because I don't feel that everything is a good fit for my work.
When I was younger, I had a very big problem talking and communicating. So art was basically my go-to. It was something that saved me, I tell people. And even when I have bad days or a bad moment, I will go and create, I will go and sketch, I will go downstairs. And that all comes about with not having the security of thinking that you're worth or your self-worth. So I think it's really important not to cut somebody off when they're young, or even when they're growing, even in their art career, even if they're in school.
Now I'm remembering that the first time that I heard that you can do it was actually in high school when I was starting to apply for art schools, and my very own guidance counselor, who's supposed to be there for you and motivate you, she told me, no, you should not apply to School of Visual Arts because I don't think you can do it, or I don't think you can get in, or one reason or another. And she was like, how about you just go somewhere local?
The first no I remember that stung was somehow I got an interview with the curator for the Drawing Center in New York, right? It was like one-on-one. I was like, this is my chance. I'm gonna do it. It's all about to happen. I brought my portfolio, and she looked at what I thought were my beautiful drawings, and she was like, well, you're talented, but these are more like paintings, so no thanks. So that's the first one I remember as an artist, that bit.
I think when I was younger, it used to hit me harder, and I used to ponder more on it and feel they don't want me or my work's not good enough. As I got older and felt more confident about my work, I felt like I'm still so proud of it, even if it didn't get into a show, or I didn't get into a competition, or someone didn't like it, because I think I built enough confidence to realize that I have a voice and the piece is really good and it needs to be shown.
And in my more mature years, have been able to use these no's as like well, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna take a different avenue, because there's so much space, you know, and if one organization or if one job or if one isn't going to accept my application, maybe there will be others that will.
Well, I wasn't going to let these paintings wait around for their next opportunity, so I had a studio visit with a woman who's an interior designer, and she decorates people's houses with art. So I proposed the 40 by 30 that was rejected, And she took it with her. So the painting is not defined by the rejection. It just, if you change the context the painting is seen in, it changes everything.
Open calls and things like that, you know, it's not just about the theme. It's not just about the juror or the panel that's choosing the work. It's also about what's behind it, right? The institution, the organization that has their own also agenda, for lack of a better word, that it has to fit. So you don't have control over that. Many times we go to a show and we say, that explanation has nothing to do with what is happening, right? That's how we interpret it, okay? Perhaps the panelists interpreted different. Perhaps the juror interpreted different. They saw something else in there, you know, that did fit the brief. Okay, fine. What I personally try and do in my practice and my work is to be very transparent about what I'm doing and how we're doing things so that artists understand how the process works and why everything is happening. So I feel that transparency is really important. And I feel that institutions typically are not transparent about their process. I've been saying this to artists recently. It's like, you know, stop knocking on the doors that don't open, you know, and either, you know, focus on the ones that do open or that give you a chance, or make your own door.
Well, you know, the ups and downs of being an artist, it's the reality, and the rejections are part of that reality.
Yes, and it is validating to be in the show, because then it just shows, like you said, community. Mm-hmm. You're not the only one. But what does it do to me in the studio? At first, maybe it used to bother me, and then, you know, especially when it comes in form of critique, right? But then I realized that critique and preference is two complete different things. You just might like that work because that style is your preference.
Right.
You know, critique is more like, hey, technically this doesn't fit here, or this doesn't go well.
When people are able to collaborate and speak to each other constructively, I think that's when real great growth as an artist happens. I'm like, instead of just telling me it looks horrible, instead of telling me it's not right, how do I make it right? Instead of just walking around the classroom and telling us all our work is trash or anything like that, I get it, you've been in industry for 25 plus years, we all appreciate that, you know, but tell us, what can we do?
I actually stopped not working, but stopped submitting my work to galleries and to shows because I was getting rejected so much.
I think I try to take it with a sense of humor. I think that, you know, is there growth from rejection? Maybe sometimes, but as I say, you know, ultimately these are things that we do for ourselves, to please ourselves. We hope it pleases others, but if it doesn't, it's still meaningful for us to carry on.
But I had to reinvent myself. And because of that, I went online and I started doing things I never did before. And I think that was a very good way to grow.
It's like I don't let them stop me. I don't let them change me. Sometimes it's like my problem is when I'm working, and this is a great problem to have, is whatever I'm working on, I'm like, this is the best work I've ever done in my whole life. Right? I'm like, I'm a genius, right? Give myself high fives. Before he went crazy, I used to call it having my Kanye moment. I don't say that anymore. So sometimes, you know, you apply for stuff and then it gets rejected and then it's sitting in your studio and you're like,
But, you know, I didn't get into that, and that either. Yeah. And then it's like, but if I didn't say that, that person would not have admitted that they didn't get, you know, that they also got rejected. Yeah. So,
like you said, community, you're not the only one. Yeah.
I feel like there's also like this stigmatism behind being rejected. Like it's a bad thing, and nobody wants to talk about it.
Yeah. This is happening because of rejection, right? And this community that we know each other in some other rooms, but this talk and this constructive conversation is happening because of the no's that we've collected or are now giving out ourselves.
So it's like sometimes we need to reject other things to be able to keep the most important thing going, which is our practices. You know, because for me, I'm not happy unless I'm working. And so like when you look at most artists, they're either people who were lucky enough to be supportive or courageous enough not to care and to just do it anyway. And it's just, it's amazing.
My happiness, because creating is my happiest place. It makes everything go away in the world, and it's just, everybody knows when I'm working, I'm just so happy. It's just the most amazing thing, so I don't let it rob me of my happiness.
My direction, morals, and ethics. Yeah. So like sometimes like when you get rejected, you're like, oh my God, maybe I should like, you know, when you're younger, like, oh my God, maybe I should just change everything I've ever done. I don't do that anymore. It's just like, no, I'm just gonna keep doing this because that's what I do. And sorry, don't like it, but not sorry, you know? And the morals and ethics, like the morals and ethics that I have is more towards like other people and how I treat others and things like that. So I'm not gonna be a jerk to you because I got rejected. Like, that's silly.
My worth and my honesty with myself in my practice. Because I found as we've talked, like the more I'm just true to what I want to be doing and what is helping me, the more successful I am. I guess I don't take it personally, even as I continue to try to see what I might learn from every one of those experiences. And I think even more, I've learned not to take it globally. Because I think that when you're young and you get rejected, it feels like the entire universe has been encapsulated in one angry, nasty face.
So even with every rejection, it might hit, some do hit harder than others, but I'm just super grateful. So at all these things, that's what I always think to myself. Like, I'm just super grateful for just the people, the community, like the laughs, and I'm just super grateful.
I would say my drive and authenticity, and I think as an artist, we all have our voices that are, you know, singular, and they connect to certain people, and they don't connect to others, and I just, you know, the rejection is not going to take me down.
Honestly, if any artist stops creating after they hear no, I mean, it brings up the question about, do we create for the approval of others, or do we create because we need to express something? The approval of others is always very welcome, but artists of all types, regardless of what others think of their skill level, create because they need to create, and ultimately it's done for yourself.
I just think the work speaks for itself. None of this work is lesser than any other, and I hesitate to say any work is lesser than something else. I think that just by seeing it, seeing the care and the value that was put on the work being created, the explanation, the artist's statements that are directly related to the work that you are looking at. I hope that viewers carry, first of all, the impact of the work, right? And what it means and what the artists are trying to say. But also, I hope that they understand that artists have, and really this is for the artists themselves too, they do have the power to create their own spaces.
I am just a true believer of everything happens for a reason. If this was something you truly thought you were gonna get and you didn't, it was not meant for you. So just that really helps me move forward. It was just not for me.
Okay, my funny response is, but did you die? And then my true response is, take a moment, breathe. This too shall pass. And you'll get through it. And there's going to be more opportunities on the horizon.
Yeah, just say it happens to all of us. I've seen the person who got first place in the last show get rejected from the next. Do what you got to do, but just keep going.
Feel your feelings, but get back in the studio and do what you need to do.
Yes, put one foot in front of the other, and the rejection doesn't define you.
Sometimes they get it wrong, be a baby, give yourself 2 days, and then get back to work.
Paint it to life, paint it to death, just paint it.
Mm-hmm.